Hey everyone, welcome back to Clientology Daily Insights. I'm your host, Jeff Bourgeois, and today we're going to talk about a little concept called every yes is a no to something. And I just want to talk about this. A lot of people think, there's a magical secret to task management or time management. And one of the things that I struggle with is I love saying yes. I'll show up to everything and I'll say yes. And what I didn't realize, and this is not my concept, I've heard it many, many times, but when you say yes to a project, you're saying no to something else by default. And unfortunately, sometimes that means saying no to family, saying no to school, saying no to going to the gym. So think about every yes. And this is part of my passion with applying the 80-20 principle. We need to practice saying no. And again, sometimes not right now, we just need to be really realistic. And so, one of the things we do in clientology is we set our 30,000-foot view where we want to be in the next few years. And then we break that down into 90-day sprints that will get us to the big picture. And what I find is that clarity allows our participants to look at it and say, well, this doesn't get me closer to my goal, therefore I have to say no to it. So sometimes, again, we need to be clear what we'd like to say yes to so that it guides us in what we should be saying no to. Because scope creep doesn't happen overnight. Usually it's a little bit at a time, a little bit here, a little bit there. Um, we need to be really clear what we value so that we know what to say no to. And that's where I think 80-20 is such a powerful concept. If you practice the principles of 80-20, you know with certainty what 20% of your effort gets 80% of your result. You will learn to start saying no to the things that are outside that 20%. And more importantly, you'll also learn what can be delegated. So sometimes saying yes to delegating is saying yes to something else. So we want to look at our life very carefully. We want to be intentional, and I think that's the point of this particular post is that intentionality. So I hope this gives you some insight. I know it sounds obvious, but for me it was a big aha because I am at heart a people pleaser. I love to say yes to things. What I realized is sometimes saying yes to something that I'm not ready for is the meanest thing I could do to somebody else. It's actually really selfish of me. So now I've learning to say no as a way to serve others. So I hope this gives you some insight.